Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our channel Let's Learn Automation, and in this session we are going to see the most basic thing, that is variable. So to understand the variable, first of all we'll create a new project. So for example here I will create a new project like a Java project, and we'll name it like core Java, and we don't need any module, so I will delete this, and here I will create a new package. I will name it like demo, and here again finally I will create a class and will name it like variable. So this is our class variable. Let's delete this. So variable is a container which hold the data, like whenever we need to do any programming, so at that time we need to use the multiple type of variable, then store that data into that variable, and then we can process it or we can formalize that particular data to get a particular output. So variable is a container which hold the data, so that container can hold a different data as per our requirement. This is our memory, and here we have one container like this, and it hold the data like 10, and we can name it like num. So this is what the container which hold the data, so that's why it is called as a variable is a container which hold the data like 10, and we name or we give the name of that to that container as a num. We can give any name, but for now I have given the name like num to this container which hold the data like 10. And it depend upon how we are going to use, or how which data we need to use. If we have any person, so like this is the person, and now this person can have name, then this person can have age, also this person can have salary, or even can have employee id, even address. So these are the different things which are related to this person. So like salary, employee id. So salary can be, we can say that into the form of like 50,000 0.12. So this can be salary. So this is in a decimal format. If you are going to think about the age of that person, the age can be 35. So this is what the a number. Then if a name we are going to consider, then that name can be like name of person, that can be Harry. So this is the different format. Then uh, again we are going to consider the salary, then like 50,000.123. Okay, then age here equal to 23. Then if you are going to consider the blood group, so that can be A, B, or C, anything. So these are the like Harry 50,000.123 23. Then A, these are the different data with respect to this person. So all these data we need to store in somewhere, so that somewhere is called as a variable. So we can store the data into variable, and after storing of data, we can make use of data for a various means. So even we can enter into some formula or any calculation and get the output. So let's take an example of water. uh, we need to store the small amount of water, then we can make use of glass. Okay, if we need to store the more amount of water, then we can make use of bottle. So this may contain the 300 ml, this may contain the 1 liter, and if more amount of water need to store, then we can make use of can. So it can hold a 50 to 20 liter, and if that is not sufficient, then we can use a tank. So this tank can use for 500 to 1000 liter of water. So we are using all those things, like glass, then bottle, then can and tank for the specific use or for a particular use. If you need to store the small amount of water, then a glass or a bottle can be good. Then if you need to large amount of water, then a can or a tank can be useful. So it depend upon our use. We need to decide which kind of data or how we are going to store the data. So if we are going to think about an employee, so employee can have the multiple data, like we can say that the name can be Harry, then its age can be 23, then its salary can be 50,000.23, then its grade can be like A. Okay, so these are the different kind of data. Now all these data, first of all, we need to store into one thing called as a variable. So that's why variable is called as a container which hold the data. Then this data is of different type, so there are different type of data type. So whenever we need to store any variable or whenever we need to store any data, so first of all we need to decide which data type is suitable for that data. So as we have here, this is what the string type of data, then this is the number that is called as integer, then this is the decimal point, then this is the single character. So these are the different kind of data. So first of all we need to decide which data type is suitable or useful for this data. In data types we have two major type, like one is primitive and second one is non-primitive. In a primitive, whenever we need to deal to the numeric data, so at that time we have the option like byte, then short, then integer and long. So these are the four types in a numeric. Now the question can be, why we need four type? Because whenever we see the example of water, so depending upon our requirement, we can have or we need the glass or bottle or can or tank. Even just like that, whenever we need to store the small amount of data, then byte and short can be used. And if the data is larger one, then integer and long is useful. So that's why depending upon how much data we have, how much bigger data we have, we are going to use the byte, short, int or long. So decimal type of data can be stored in a float and double. So again, it depend upon how much bigger data we have. Depend upon that, we'll use the float and double. Then we have the boolean. So boolean can store the two things like true and false. So this can be this can be used to store the status or flags. Then we have one character. So it is going to store anything in a single character. So for that we need to use the single quote, and in a single quote we can store anything like three, even like we can say that any symbol or anything. So this is what the these are the primitive, like four are the numeric, two are the decimal, then one for boolean and one for character. So these are the total eight primitive data type. Then the second type we have non-primitive. So basically we are going to, most of the time we are going to use the primitive, and in a non-primitive, that is the second type, so this can be like string. So this is going to store the name like Ron, like Harry, anything. So this is what the string. Then also we can use the thing like hash map, then vector, then array list. So these are the type of non-primitive. The difference is that all these having the specific size, but these don't have any size, and all these are start from the lowercase like small b, small s, small I, small l, small f, d, then b, then c. But in this case it start from capital letter. These are all called as a class. All these non-primitive data are called as a classes. So here I will write, so these are classes, and these are, we can say that, keyword or reserve word. So these are the keyword which are in a small case having the particular limited size, and these are the classes which having the there is no specific size. It depend upon how, for how much size we are going to use. So these are the two data types, and depending upon the requirement we are going to use anything from it. So this is what the variable. So basically variable is a container which hold the data. So that container can hold name, age, salary, grade, anything which we need to store or our program demand. So this is what variable. Thank you.